If your erections aren't as strong as before, if you feel constantly tired, if you avoid intimacy, not because you want to, but because your body just doesn't respond, listen carefully. This may not be age. More often, it's the result of poor heart health, sluggish circulation, and weakened daily habits. The good news? All three can be improved naturally. I'm Dr. William Harris, and for over 30 years, I've helped men over 60 reclaim their vitality, restore their cardiovascular strength, and rebuild the sexual confidence they thought was gone forever. Here's what most doctors don't emphasize enough: your heart and your performance are inseparably connected. Without healthy blood flow, endurance drops, energy fades, and intimacy suffers. And the fix isn't always a pill. It's in the simple daily habits you practice. Drop a comment below and let me know which country or city you're watching from. It inspires me to see how far this message is reaching, and it helps me connect with each of you. Today, I'll share the three most powerful daily habits every man over 60 should use to improve heart health, increase circulation, and restore performance both in daily life and in intimacy. And stay tuned, because in just a moment, I'll also reveal the biggest mistake men make when trying to protect their heart and restore vitality, and how you can avoid it starting tonight. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another vital tip designed especially for men over 60. And if you're ready to take control, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and let me know what would make this content more valuable for you. Right, let's get straight to it. The first and most overlooked key to improving heart health and restoring performance in men over 60 is something your body once produced easily, especially when you spent more time outdoors. But as the years pass, levels drop sharply. And with it, your circulation, your energy, and yes, even your intimacy. I'm talking about vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. But for men your age, it may also be the foundation for getting your strength, confidence, and vitality back. Let me explain why. 1. Vitamin D, the circulation spark plug. I still remember sitting across from Paul, a 67-year-old man who looked sharp but carried quiet frustration. "Doctor," he said, "I still want to be close to my wife, but my body just won't cooperate anymore." That kind of confession is one I've heard from hundreds of men over the years. And more often than not, the path to bringing that spark back doesn't start with a pill. It starts with vitamin D. This nutrient is one of the most underestimated tools for keeping blood vessels flexible, the heart strong, and sexual performance alive well into your later years. When it comes to men's health after 60, vitamin D is one of the most overlooked nutrients. Most people think of it as something kids need for strong bones or something you get from a little sunshine. But in reality, vitamin D has a direct impact on male performance. It acts as the very switch that allows blood vessels to open and carry oxygen-rich blood throughout your body, including to the areas that define your masculinity. Without it, circulation slows, energy fades, and intimacy becomes more difficult than it should be. Over 40% of older adults are deficient in vitamin D, and I'm not just talking about men who ignore their health. I've seen good men who exercise and eat well still sit across from me and say, "Why don't I feel like myself anymore?" The answer often comes down to this: low vitamin D means your body produces less nitric oxide, the molecule that makes blood flow and sexual performance possible. But this isn't only about sex, it's about stamina, clarity, and confidence in daily life. The good news? Fixing a deficiency doesn't take complicated steps. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight, eating more salmon, tuna, or fortified dairy, and adding high-quality vitamin D3 supplements can radically improve the way your body performs. I've seen men who could barely walk around the block suddenly feel energized again and reconnected to their partners. This isn't theory, it's basic chemistry. and it's one of the simplest ways to reclaim your strength. But as powerful as vitamin D is, it can only carry you so far. Because even if your blood is flowing properly, your body still needs the energy to move it, sustain it, and turn it into action. That's where our second vitamin steps in. If you've ever felt drained for no reason, this might be the missing piece. Let's talk about it now. Vitamin B12, the energy generator. A few years ago, I met Robert, a 72-year-old retired firefighter and grandfather. On the surface, he was strong, but underneath, he looked worn out. "Doc," he told me, "I sleep 8 hours. I eat well, but I'm still dragging through the day. My mind feels foggy. My body's tired. And when I want to be close with my wife, I just don't have the energy anymore." His story stuck with me because it's so common and so easily missed. What Robert described was classic vitamin B12 deficiency, something I've seen in countless men over 60. Without enough B12, your body can't properly convert food into energy. No matter how well you eat or how much you sleep, the tank stays empty. When your body runs low on vitamin B12, it feels like the entire system is running on empty. This vitamin doesn't just fuel energy, it also helps form red blood cells, the carriers of oxygen that feed your muscles, your brain, and yes, even your sexual organs. Without enough of them, everything slows down. Stamina fades, focus dulls, and you may even feel disconnected from the very things that once brought you excitement. Here's the challenge. As you age, your ability to absorb B12 from food declines. Even if you're eating meat, eggs, or dairy, it may not be enough. That's why so many older men complain of constant fatigue, weakness, or mental fog, even when their routine blood work looks normal. The solution, however, can be surprisingly simple. Increasing B12 through high-quality supplements, or in some cases, injections recommended by your doctor, can dramatically restore clarity, stamina, and that feeling of being truly awake again. I've seen men go from dozing off in the afternoon to hiking, laughing, and being fully present with their partners, all because of correcting a deficiency they never knew they had. But energy alone isn't the full picture. Your body also needs protection, something that shields blood vessels, calms inflammation, and supports the very hormones that define your masculinity. That's where our third vitamin steps in. It's often called the fertility vitamin, but its role extends far beyond reproduction. In fact, without it, your testosterone and circulation may already be slipping. Let's talk about it. Vitamin E, the fertility defender. I remember James, a 70-year-old retired pilot, who came to see me with quiet frustration. "Doc," he said, "I eat well, I exercise, I'm disciplined, but something feels off. My drive is down. I don't recover the way I used to, and honestly, I don't feel like myself anymore." James wasn't lazy. He was dedicated. But what he was missing is something most men, and even many doctors, overlook: vitamin E. This nutrient isn't just about skin or fertility. It's a powerhouse for men's health after 60. Vitamin E acts as a natural antioxidant, protecting blood vessels from oxidative stress and reducing inflammation that silently erodes circulation, hormone balance, and sexual vitality. When inflammation builds up, blood flow weakens, testosterone dips, and energy quietly slips away. It doesn't happen overnight, but over time, it robs men of their edge. What makes vitamin E so vital is its ability to preserve not just performance, but confidence, longevity, and strength in the years when you need them most. Vitamin E helps keep your blood vessels flexible and your circulation strong. Erections aren't just about desire, they're about blood flow. And when circulation can't reach where it needs to go, performance suffers. But that's not the only benefit. Vitamin E also supports testosterone production, something men over 60 need more than ever. Low testosterone doesn't just affect intimacy, it impacts mood, motivation, and even your overall sense of purpose. The good news is restoring this nutrient is simple and natural. Foods like almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and leafy greens such as spinach or Swiss chard are excellent sources. And if diet alone isn't enough, a high-quality, natural vitamin E supplement can help. I've had patients like James return months later with brighter eyes and renewed confidence, telling me they feel sharper, stronger, and more connected to life again. Now you might be asking, what happens when these three vitamins are combined? Can they work together to amplify results? The answer is yes. In fact, when used consistently and in the right balance, they create a ripple effect that transforms not just your circulation or erections, but your entire experience of aging. Years ago, I worked with Walter, a 68-year-old retired coach. He had started vitamin D for circulation, added B12 for energy, and eventually began vitamin E after learning about its effect on testosterone. But it wasn't until he committed to all three that the change became clear. I still remember him walking into my office, smiling from ear to ear, saying, "Doc, I feel like I've been given a brand new engine." That's the power of synergy. Vitamin D boosts nitric oxide and opens the blood vessels. Vitamin B12 builds the red blood cells that carry oxygen through those vessels. And vitamin E protects the vascular system while supporting testosterone, the hormone that fuels strength and drive. Alone, they each make a difference, but together they form what I call the vitality triangle: circulation, energy, and hormonal support working in harmony. This matters more than ever after 60, when recovery slows, inflammation builds, and nutrient absorption declines. Miss even one piece of that triangle, and the whole system weakens. Put them together, and your body has the tools to stay strong, resilient, and connected. When you bring these three vitamins together in balance, your body begins to remember what vitality feels like. You may notice waking up more refreshed, clearer in thought, and quicker to respond when it matters, physically and emotionally. Confidence returns, and that's something no prescription can replicate. Walter wasn't a rare case. I've seen this same transformation in countless men who take these nutrients seriously and weave them into their daily routines. But here's the truth. Most men never experience these results. Why? Because they unknowingly make a common mistake that cancels out their progress. And if you're not careful, you may be making it too. Take Gerald, for example. He was 74, thoughtful, well-read, and determined to take control of his health. One morning he walked into my office with a grocery bag full of supplement bottles. He spread them out on the desk and said, "Doc, I've been taking all of these for months, but I still feel tired, foggy, and nothing's improving in my performance." His disappointment was real, and I've heard it far too often. The biggest mistake men make, especially after 60, is assuming any supplement will do. They buy cheap synthetic versions from discount shelves or online, believing all vitamins are the same, but they're not. The form, quality, and dosage determine whether your body actually absorbs and benefits or simply flushes them away. Take B12, for instance. Most low-grade brands use cyanocobalamin, a form many older men can't even convert. What you need is methylcobalamin, the active form your body can use right away. The same goes for vitamin D. D2 is cheaper, but far less effective than D3. And with vitamin E, synthetic isolates lack the full spectrum your body requires to support testosterone, circulation, and stamina. Another common mistake is inconsistency. Taking a vitamin once or twice a week when you happen to remember won't create lasting change. Your body thrives on rhythm. It needs steady, daily support to rebuild energy, restore circulation, and balance hormones. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about creating a foundation. When Gerald switched to higher quality forms and committed to taking them consistently, the change was remarkable. Within weeks, his energy lifted, his focus sharpened, and yes, his confidence in intimacy returned. Was sleeping better, waking up more energized, and his words, feeling like a man again. That change didn't come from trying harder. It came from doing it right. Now that you know what works and what to avoid, the next step is putting it all together. You might be wondering, how do I actually make this part of my day without it becoming complicated? That's exactly what we'll cover next. A simple, realistic routine any man can follow to support energy performance and vitality every single day. Let's build your plan. 6. Your daily vitality routine. When I work with older men, one of the first things they ask me, often with a mix of hope and hesitation, is, "Doc, just tell me what to do each day. I don't need complicated, I just need something that works." That's a question I respect deeply, because at this stage of life, most men aren't looking for fads or gimmicks. They want consistency, simplicity, a plan that helps them feel strong again. So let me tell you about Frank, a 66-year-old former carpenter who came to me after months of struggling with low energy, poor sleep, and fading confidence in the bedroom. We didn't overhaul his life. We built a basic, powerful routine around the vitamins we've been talking about, and it changed everything. Each morning, Frank would start his day with a full glass of water and his B12 supplement taken with a protein-rich breakfast. After breakfast, he'd take a short walk outside, just 15 minutes in the sunlight, to help stimulate natural vitamin D production. If it was cloudy or winter, he used a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement with his first meal. A handful of almonds or sunflower seeds provided his vitamin E, along with a drizzle of olive oil over his lunchtime salad. That was it. No extremes, just small, deliberate choices. Within weeks, Frank said he had more energy to play with his grandkids, more interest in being close to his wife, and a sense of confidence that had quietly slipped away over the years. He felt like himself again. Not a younger version, but a stronger, more grounded version of the man he was. The truth is, you don't need a dozen pills or complicated routines. What you need is a steady rhythm, the right nutrients in the right forms, and a mindset that says, "I'm still in control of my health," because you are. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final message, something every man over 60 needs to hear but rarely does. If you've ever wondered whether it's too late to feel strong, desired, and fully alive again, the answer might surprise you. If you've stayed with me this far, I want to pause and speak to you directly, not just as a physician, but as a man who has spent more than 30 years listening to men like you. Men who've worked hard, built families, carried responsibilities, and still ask themselves, why doesn't my body feel the way it used to? That question isn't weakness, it's strength. It shows you're still fighting, still searching for the energy, confidence, and connection that make life meaningful. And that's something I truly respect. We've walked through 3 powerful nutrients: vitamin D, the circulation spark plug that reopens blood vessels and restores healthy flow where it matters most; vitamin B12, the energy generator that keeps your muscles, brain, and stamina alive; and vitamin E, the fertility defender that protects the heart, supports testosterone, and shields you from silent inflammation. But here's the truth. The power doesn't come from simply knowing these names. The power comes from using them consistently, with intention. These vitamins don't just fuel your body, they fuel your identity. They shape your presence with your partner, your ability to wake up with purpose, and your confidence to feel like yourself again. I've seen too many men who thought their best years were gone discover a second wind that changed everything. So now the choice is yours. You can let this information sit on a shelf, or you can act on it. You can choose to give your body what it's been quietly asking for. Step outside for that morning walk. Take your supplements with discipline. Say yes to your heart health, your performance, and your future. Because I can promise you this, it is not too late, not even close. You still have time to grow stronger. You still have time to reconnect. And you still have time to be the man you know yourself to be, fully, boldly, unapologetically. You've already taken the first step by showing up here. Now take the next one. If this video gave you something valuable, please hit that like button so I know it made a difference. Share it with a brother, a friend, or anyone over 60 who needs to hear this. And before you go, leave me a comment. Tell me what resonated most with you, or share a topic you'd like me to cover next. Your feedback is what shapes this journey, and together, we'll keep moving forward. Your voice helps shape this space. If you'd like to support this channel and our mission to bring more life-changing health content to men over 60, consider making a small contribution. Every bit helps us fund better research, create stronger videos, and reach more men who need this guidance. You're not just watching a video, you're part of a movement, and I'm truly grateful you're here. Before you head out, drop a comment below and tell me where you're tuning in from, your city, your country. I read every single one, and it's always inspiring to connect with you. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and take care of yourself. I'm Dr. William Harris, and I'll see you in the next video.